Hey guys, welcome back to Proofed Cuisine. Today we're going to do a Valentine's Day special. So let's make something special for that special someone using a little extra something special. Let's hop right on in. Today we're going to be making pork chops and green beans with some Merlot wine. This particular wine is softly spiced with black cherries and plum flavors. So we're going to go ahead and utilize this as best we can with some pork chops. So before we go ahead and pop that right on open, we got our pork chops. They're defrosted and ready to go with our dry rub. So we've got this jackass hot sauce. Don't be a jackass. Make sure you use a good amount of spice and actually give it a base lathering in the hot sauce. Let's go ahead and move it around and give our dry rub something to stick to. Go ahead and get nice and covered. Go ahead and add our hot sauce too. Go ahead and rub that on in, the base layer. Now you don't necessarily have to use the hot sauce with the dry rub, but it's just a little extra something that I think just tops it off the top for your very special someone. Alright, so if I haven't mentioned it before, I'll mention it again. In our dry rub, we've got some ground cumin, basil, a little dash of ground cinnamon, some paprika, some leaf oregano, kosher salt. So I'm not going to hesitate in adding some of these, they are Aunt Nellie's Holland style onions, or aka cocktail onions. I'm just going to go ahead, dig in a couple there, let's pop them on. And these will just definitely add an awesome backing for the cooking process. That extra little sweet, little bulbs of sweetness. I've teased you with the wine, now it's time to open up the wine. Be very careful, always cut away from yourself. Make sure you pick yourself up a good wine bottle opener. Pop that open nice and easy. You can definitely smell some of that, those black cherry and various spices. So what I'm going to go ahead and do to this is I'm going to add this to the meat's stock. Probably add halfway up the bowl plate here. And next I'm just going to go ahead and just lather that over top of the meat. And what that'll do is that'll add an additional black cherry sweetness, plum flavors, which will, you know, definitely complement the various seasonings that I've added to the dry rub. I'm going to add a little bit more, just straight out of the bottle, because I just love having wine. So the next thing we do is, all right, looks like our oven is ready to go. So we're going to go ahead, pull out the rack, pop in my pork chops. Put this on for about, I want to say 25 minutes. It's going to hop back down into about, you know, it's got a preset. There it is, 25 minutes. What we're going to do next is get our green beans started. You know, you can't have meat without some kind of bean or some kind of a side dish. I've decided green beans. Let's go with it. Guys, tell her you bought it from the farmer's market and you spent all afternoon propping it. She will love you that much more. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give it an extra rinsing, because you know you don't want all those extra preservatives. You know that those will definitely impede upon the natural flavor. Speaking from a guy that's using canned food. Let's go ahead and get this next can open. I want to add some complementary seasonings that we were just using on the meat. Just a little bit of them, not too much. There we go. I'll figure out something to do with those later. And I'm also going to go ahead and add some more of these Holland style, I've been calling them cocktail onions. Small handful of them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of water to this to help push down those seasonings. And I'm also going to add some of the Red Diamond Merlot to these as well. 3, 4, okay. Got about 4 ounces in there. And we're going to put those. All right, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to cook those on low simmer, so they'll spend their good portion of the time it's going to take for the pork chops to join them. All right, and last but not least, garlic and herb French bread. Look at that loaf, kids. Smells delicious. Probably do about 5 slices. And also, if you know if you know their taste in wine and you don't like it, either compromise and get 2 bottles or just get what they prefer. bite the bullet, they'll love you for it that much more. Gonna get out my olive oil. Hey, look at that, I still have seasoning over here. I told you guys I'd find some good use for it. All right, so first thing I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna add my olive oil to the top. Okay, next thing I'm gonna wanna do is I'm gonna take my leftover dry rub and just sprinkle it on. Look at that, this is gonna stick right to it. And I'm gonna add a little more wine. Now you don't necessarily have to do this. From a local retailer, I picked up a $1 squirt bottle used for kitchen utilities. If it looks pretty good. And just gonna give each little piece of bread a squirt. By the time the alcohol dries out in that, we're gonna be left with some of those rich spices, the cherry flavors, the plum flavors. It'll be sweet. It'll have that dry rub on it. It's gonna be top notch. We got about 15 minutes left on the pork chops, and the green beans are going to be cooking slow. So after we go ahead and get the bread on in about 10 minutes, we'll come back and we'll have our full meal ready for you and your significant other for this Valentine's Day special. Alright guys, welcome back. We're making special Valentine's Day pork chops with bread and green beans. I'm going to go ahead and take the bread out first. And that is nice and crisp on the outside. You can feel the fluffiness on the inside. It's got a nice, kind of a sweet cherry scent with the dry rub coming off of it, accented with the cherries. And you go ahead, cut and test the pork chops here. And that is just looking nice and white and finished. Look at that. Let's try over here. Ah, beautiful. Each one is looking better than the last. So there's less of a traveling distance needed to bring it to the plate. Go ahead and pick one of the first ones I cut out. Outstanding. Maybe take a couple of onions, bring them over to the top, and then add a little bit of this broth that's been accumulating and cooking down. Go ahead and get a piece of bread and bring it over. And some green beans as well. And everything has some merlot and some dry rub on it. Take a gander at that and let's grab a taste test, shall we? Oh wow! It's like 3 layers of flavor in that. First you've got the dry rub. Then there's the unique dry rub combined with the broth, as well as the cherry flavors, some of the various spices and the plum. Let's go ahead and have some green beans. Again. Oh, and the onions really picked up some of the plum flavors too. Well, let's try the bread. Oh man. Amazing. The olive oil, the merlot, and the dry rub on it. Alright guys, so that was an amazing Valentine's Day special. I highly recommend you try cooking with wine at some point in the future if you never have yet. Your special someone will really appreciate the flavors that you can get from a dry rub and a wine specifically. This merlot, very sweet, and wow. So I thank you guys for joining me on this special Valentine's Day episode of Proofed Cuisine, the only show where we put beer in your breakfast, liquor in your lunch, and that's right, spirits in your supper. So you guys take it easy, have a good one, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Proofed Cuisine.